We're joined on the line by the twice European Champions Cup winner with Munster and former Irish international Alan Quinlan to reflect on the very sad news of the passing of the former Munster CEO Garrett Fitzgerald. Garrett passed away at the age of 65, and our deepest sympathies are with his family and friends. Alan's very sad news. Garrett only retired last year from Munster.
Yeah, it's very sad news, John. I think my era player and a lot of the guys I played with for a long period of time with Munster, starting back in 1996 when I made my debut, would have got to know Garrett really, really well. He was a coach actually in Munster before he took the CEO's job, and obviously took that job on the start of and the change from amateur into professional for the province. And I think he was someone who got to know the players very well. He was always very humorous, had to innovate and be involved in a lot of change over the years, and you know, I think he was the driving force behind a lot of the success there. And it's very, very sad news. His wife Anya was a lovely woman as well, and you know, there was a great bond and a connection between not just the players, which we all speak about, but the management and people behind the scenes. And Garrett was the one who was that driving force, and it's very, very sad. I think he put up a very, very brave fight, and he was an incredibly positive man. I met him many times in the last couple of years, and when he was going through and fighting his illness, and I think he showed great bravery and courage, and he will certainly be sorely missed. I think the legacy he leaves behind, and that's something that maybe we talk a little bit about when an individual is gone, and I think Garrett can be very, very proud of what he did for Irish rugby and for Munster rugby. And you know, I remember in 2006, tears in his eyes after we won that Heineken Cup, and you know, it was obviously very emotional for everybody because there was a long journey there, and Garrett was the one was the driving force behind that. He never really interfered with people or the players or was hanging around training, but you knew he was always around, and he met players and he was very pleasant to them. And you know, obviously as a CEO, you've got to make tough calls at times, and but I think he handled himself in a really, really decent manner with everybody. And I can't remember anyone saying a bad thing about Garrett Fitzgerald in my time in Munster, and he certainly, it's very, very sad news.
Alan, like when he took over Munster in 1999, the game was only becoming really professional. And when you think about that journey, all the miracle matches, the trips away, the heartlands of Limerick and Cork and the rest of Munster being ignited by the Munster rugby players and Declan Kidney and then Garrett's overseeing that. It was a remarkable story. Like they won the 2 European Cups, which you were involved in, the 3 leagues, the redevelopment of Thomond Park, Musgrave Park. And I always remember that picture in the 2006 final when they kind of panned to O'Connell Street in Limerick and all the fans that were there watching the action in Cardiff. And it's not only just an administrative legacy he leaves, but it just how he touched people's lives.
Yeah, and I think he was more than a CEO because he was very involved. As I said, he coached Munster before he took over as CEO, and I remember going to one of my first Munster training sessions and meeting Garrett there, and just the welcome he gave me and the way he was able to go and chat to people. And he obviously had a natural ability to connect with people and to bring people together. And that's what he did. And he was very, very receptive to our opinions. We were probably very inexperienced, but we were starting to become, I would say, demanding as regards facilities, nutrition, fitness people. We wanted to get better. We got a bit of a taste of that, what it could be like for us in 2000. And, you know, he was very receptive to change and to try and give as much support into a very unique situation, because obviously there's 2 centres in Munster, one in Limerick, one in Cork. The Limerick people think it's the home of rugby. The Cork people think that, you know, they've produced so many great rugby players over the years. So there was maybe a division there, and he had to try and, you know, manage that whole scenario as well. And so he did do a brilliant job. And obviously winning the Heineken Cups was incredible for everybody, but the whole journey, and he was the one who steered that whole ship really, in a sense that, you know, the transition from, the internationals not playing with their clubs, when the the Celtic League came in, as it was called then. So there was a huge amount of work that he had to do behind the scenes, and guide and work with clubs, and obviously through Munster branch committees and all that stuff. And I can never remember Garrett being anyway animated or in bad form or anything like that. So he had a real natural ability to negotiate and to put plans in place. And as I said, the players always had massive respect for him. And you know, when you got to those stages, and sometimes I get nostalgic thinking back about, you know, 06 and 08, and I can't believe it's been so long and how quickly time has gone. But you know, as I said, Garrett can be very, very proud of what he did for Munster Rugby and the passion he brought to the job as well. He loved the game, and he loved being in that role, and he loved the whole journey of, we all had great times and we all had great fun. You know, there was times early on that we would jump onto a charter plane on a Thursday and head to the south of France with maybe a handful of people on the plane, and you know, Garrett would be there to greet every player and keep his distance as well, when he knew that players were you know, they were separate, but he got to know everybody really well. And as I said, there was always a massive respect there. And you know, he's had, like Munster has his challenges, and he's someone who kind of had to deal with that as well, through probably from 2012 right up to when he retired last year. The demand and the expectation for success, and you know, the innovation to bring in Rassie Erasmus and change up the structure, if you like, by bringing in a director of rugby and stuff. And so, like I say, he was very receptive to change and to try and make Munster better, and that was his sole focus. You know, nobody gets everything perfect in any walk of life or any senior position, but Garrett's sole focus, and I always believed that. So I believed he was able to, you know, take feedback, and I always believed that he wanted to make change. On many occasions, he met with senior players to ask us what we need and what we want, and we believed when he left that room that he was going to do his best for the players, and I think that was really incredible. So it's very, very sad, but I think we can all be very, very proud of his achievements and the way he kept everybody together and brought Munster to an incredible place.
Yeah, well, my mother's from Limerick, my dad's was from Clare, Alan, and I'm walking through Limerick City, I'm always thinking to myself, when I see the Paul O'Connell murals, that this is a city, a part of a province that are the champions of Europe. They're the European champions. They've beaten all the French clubs and the English clubs. And you have that local side of it, and then you have the global side of it with Doug Howlett, John de Villiers, Rassie Erasmus, now future, and then now World Cup winner coming into Munster. And Garrett was able to blend the local and the global with Munster.
Yeah, he was, and I think he understood the pride in the jersey and the history of the jersey very well, I think. So he handled all that stuff very, very well. And I think, as I said, there was challenges. There's challenges in every job. You look at some of the biggest sporting clubs in the world, look at Manchester United now, where they're at, and maybe the challenges that Ed Woodward has. I know it's a different scenario, but there was a period maybe in 2015-16 where I was even critical of Munster. And I always remember meeting Garrett after that, and we had chats and conversations, and he was, he was someone who just, he never lost the cool with anyone, really. I think he was one of those people that, you know, if he kind of, if you felt a little bit of that he didn't agree with something, you backed off. And but you know, his passion and pride for Munster was very, very apparent all the time. And I think he did a fantastic job. Ultimately, you know, Munster achieved incredible success. I was very lucky to be part of that. Garrett was really the driving force behind a lot of that, as were the great coaches and players. But you need good guidance and good leadership at the top, and you know, he can be very proud of that, and his family can be very, very proud of that. And it's incredibly sad, but you know, he had incredible humility about him, and like I say at the start, the courage he showed in the last number of years. You know, I met him when he was ill, and he was going in the middle of his battle, and never once did he complain. He was pretty optimistic all the time, and very accepting of the challenges he had himself, and that's the way he did his job as well. So it's very tough to see somebody go like that. But we were very lucky that he was the one that helped us and achieve great things as a team.
Well, Alan, thanks for joining us to speak about Garrett Fitzgerald today. May you rest in peace.